Russia wants to continue the Mi-171 contract, Jose Rizal frigates to receive anti-torpedo system. Please like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. It looks like Russia has finally made a decision and made it public on what to do with the Philippines' acquisition of their Mi-171 helicopters, and their decision is to continue the execution of the contract. This is contrary to the Philippine government's desire to cancel the contract and have the down payment returned back, which they have been talking about publicly since the last couple of months. This just illustrates how difficult it is to cancel an existing contract, as I have been talking about before, because both sides need to agree to it. If one side doesn't agree, like in this case, then it could get really complicated. Russia right now is not obligated to return the money, they are obligated to provide the product, which is what they intend to do. This could be even more complicated later, especially when the next scheduled payment is supposed to be made, which Russia would be expecting. If the Philippines refuses to provide it, then in theory they could be brought into court for that. In my opinion, I think Russia should just agree to the cancellation of the contract and return the money for a number of reasons. First of which is that the further this drags out, the more it will put into political embarrassment the Duterte administration, which trusted Russia enough to give them such a contract. Second, this contract dispute could result in a lot of negativity, which could affect Russia's future involvement in other fields with the Philippines, especially under the administration of President Bongbong Marcos, who is now being seen as leaning more towards the West in terms of his foreign policy. Third, even if they are delivered, it will just open up those helicopters to possible complications, like how will they be maintained in terms of spare parts and services, since possible sanctions from the West will keep the Philippines from turning to Russia for them. Maybe other countries familiar with Russian equipment like India can help, but that is something that needs to be worked out first. Russia also revealed that the training for the pilots of the Mi-171 had already started, and that one unit was in fact already ready for delivery, but that the Philippines has so far refused to accept it. Meanwhile, the French company Naval Group made a press release recently announcing that representatives of the Philippines Department of National Defense had made a pre-delivery inspection of their Contralto reaction modules in France. These modules will be installed on the Jose Rizal class guided missile frigates of the Philippine Navy, and is part of a sophisticated anti-torpedo decoy system for use with the ships. The Contralto module will be used with the Naval Group's Canto acoustic decoy, which will also be used on the frigates. These will be launched from the frigate's Seaguard decoy launching systems. The Canto decoy generates acoustic signals in a 360-degree field, which will lure any torpedo to attack it instead of the ship. 3 Canto decoys at a time are usually launched for maximum effect against torpedoes. The Contralto module is integrated into the ship's combat management system and uses the ship's sonar to determine any attacking torpedo's speed and direction, and then calculates the best time and location for the Canto decoy to be launched. The module also suggests the best evasive maneuver options that the ship should perform to evade the torpedoes. I believe this will be the first time for any Philippine Navy ship to be equipped with such a system, and it will greatly enhance their survivability against torpedo attacks. So, to summarize, Russia wants to continue to execute the contract for the Mi-171 helicopters, which could result in a lot of complications for the Philippine government later on, and the Jose Rizal class guided missile frigates of the Philippine Navy will be getting a sophisticated anti-torpedo system, probably the first ships of the Navy to get such a system. Thank you for watching the video. I invite you again to like and share it, and subscribe to the channel.